Hello there and welcome to this brand new edition of 5-Round MMA. My name is Alex Ramirez. Alongside is Albert Tita. Guillermo here. We have an awesome show today. I think Albert did his hair because we have some very special guest, Elias Theodorou, on the show. Just did the hair from specifically, Albert, or what?
Yeah, I was trying to go for like sexy but messy.
Yeah, it's
But-
not working, bro.
It's not working?
It's not
No.
working. It's just messy.
Yeah, I like the Conor McGregor hairstyle.
You kind of have to go out of the box when you try to compete with the best. That's all I'm saying.
True. Well, we do have Elias on the show later on. Before Guillermo, you guys are doing good. I know you guys are excited about Jake Shield's debut in World Series of Fighting.
Oh
no,
yeah.
I heard that you guys were falling asleep during the fight. That's what I heard.
Well,
no.
the good thing it only lasted one round.
I did fall asleep. I took a good nap for like 3 minutes.
Yeah, so I guess among the biggest news of that, the Jake Shield's debut in World Series of Fighting, he actually did win in round one submission.
Against Ford?
And let me
Yeah,
guess, the
Radford.
question is, does he go another 15-fight win streak here?
Well, I'm kind of like that because he didn't really change his game plan. He got punched in the face, went down, kind of got rocked, and then went to good old faithful grinding out.
I actually
submission
more
win.
I was more surprised with the weight he decided to stay in, because they have more of an exciting middleweight right now because
Yeah.
Yoshin Okami.
Well, exactly, a welterweight.
and
They say he's at welterweight.
yeah, but I think I thought that there's better competition.
And the worst middleweight division? You thought
that's
he'd
what
go
I'm
back up?
saying. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
I thought he would move back up, kind of make more of a statement.
Yeah.
But maybe he's trying to
Yeah.
gather more wins because
Well,
I don't think the welterweight is as strong or as big names as the middleweight.
Yeah,
division.
Garrett, I want to ask you this question, Guillermo. You know, a lot of fighters, obviously, when they get high-profile fighters, get cut from the UFC. We see John Finch, Yushin Okami, Jake Shields, all these guys, and they go down to the other organizations and they try to make a statement when they get back in the UFC. But it seems like Jake Shields is maybe trying to get his feet under them. Or do you think some fighters like, okay, you know what, I had my run in the UFC. I'm just gonna do what I do and collect paychecks.
No, there's no way. I think Jake Shields he wants to get back into the UFC, but it's just his fighting style. I mean, he has what Albert said, his old faithful. You know, he go back to his grinding and wrestling, but you know, you can't really change what he is. But you know, it's not gonna entertain anybody, and that it's not that he doesn't want to go back to the UFC because I'm pretty sure he does. It's just that's who he is. So
it seems to be the trend now that UFC is going away from these type of fighters.
Yeah.
You know, just the fact that they let John Fitch go when they let him go, and I really do think they're trying to really.
Even Yushin Okami was getting that grinder style.
I think they're trying to separate themselves from those type of fighters, regardless if they can get wins or not.
they just let go of Francis Carmone.
Yeah,
Grinder style,
these guys are literally one loss away from just being released.
So it's all about all the style now, basically.
Yeah, because then you look at fighters like Dan Hardy never got cut, or was
and he's famous to know because Lorenzo sent out a tweet saying I would never cut Dan Hardy
as long
because
as
he
you guys
brings
do
it
bang,
he brings it to fight, and that should tell you right everything in their mindset.
Yeah.
And then you have Lawrence Larkin, who we really like.
And he's actually
not to bash him
he's
or anything
actually
like
dropping
that,
down to welterweight finally.
So,
But we've been saying for the longest that his frame is a welterweight.
But
he
he's a
lost to
stand-up
the
fighter.
Yeah.
He lost to the guy that got cut.
Yeah. But his fighting style is stand-up style, so it's kind of like.
Well, with that said, too, you know that they signed Josh Berkman, right?
Yes.
And he's coming off of a loss, but yet they still sign him,
Yeah.
which is kind of weird that they would do that. But then again, he fits the mold of
Did he fight Hector Lombard?
Maybe I think he is fighting
Because
Hector
like I
Lombard.
remember, there's this thing going on social media now that nobody wants to fight Hector Lombard. Like,
Yeah.
they have a list of all the guys who offered Hector Lombard, and they all said no. And they approached all the top guys in the welterweight division. So they had to go sign Josh Berkman to fight Hector Lombard.
But that shows you that they'll pick up Josh Berkman just because the way he fights. So that's just another.
Yeah, so basically, I want to switch gears here and talk about. We talked about being fired from the UFC. I want to continue the Cung Lee story because it took a big old twist to this week where Cung Lee asked him to appeal his suspension.
Yeah.
Yes, I saw.
And saying because it was improper testing or not the right test from the UFC. So he's not like appealing an athletic commission. He's appealing the UFC.
Yeah.
So one question: Does he win this? Does he win this appeal? 2, will he be employed after the appeal? And 3, can this be like a landmark event, like in this for as far as fighters' appeals for the future events? So you guys want to start?
That's a tough one.
Well, I love that they let him appeal. First of all, right off the bat. I think there has to be some sort of process like this to make things more legit. Because if they didn't allow them to appeal and stuff like that, it would look bad on the UFC that they're kind of just taking it as face value and stuff like that. When there is
There's a
testing
due process.
testing any kind can always be incorrect. And the fact that they let him appeal, I think that's a big positive. But I do think that deep down inside, UFC wants him to come out, the testative was negative.
Yeah.
Because he is probably the transition to China, which is, right now everyone's trying to get into China. Marvel's trying to get into China.
Well,
WWE's trying to get
just
to China.
a year suspension. But I mean, like, again, do you think he'll?
I think he wins the appeal. And I don't think he's going to get suspended.
Because
he
you wrote a couple articles in the past about the WADA testing, the VADA testing. He was saying that this wasn't a WADA style testing system, so the samples.
And that was the whole issue with George St. Pierre, that he wanted WADA. But again, I think Cung Lee will win the appeal.
Yeah.
But I think UFC now needs to start looking into changing the way they do the testing.
They do it themselves, right? Because again, when the UFC goes abroad.
Well, the real question is how do they do it when it's internationally? Because obviously some people are on PEDs.
Well, I think
look at Vitor Belfort every time he fought Brazil. I mean, it's a red flag right there.
And I think WWE kind of suffered from it too. When you get this big, you literally have to use only the best type of testing, regardless of how expensive
you have
it is.
The money to do
because WWE been complaining forever, saying that it just costs too much to test these guys for steroids stuff, because we have to use top of the line stuff. But then again, I mean that comes with the business. If you're the biggest organization, guess what? You got to use the best test that's out there, regardless of the price.
See, and UFC doesn't have to worry about this when they do like fight in Nevada, because Nevada takes care of everything.
Oh yeah, most states have.
But the real question is when they go internationally, what is being done?
Yeah, well that's all under the UFC's umbrella. So, but yeah, interesting stuff to see how this Cung Lee process.
One thing I did want to bring up was Diego Sanchez.
What about him?
Is getting called out by everybody. Dan
already.
Yeah, but Dan Hardy even called him out.
He's fighting Joe Lozon.
I guess Dan Hardy's saying that he might make the jump to lightweight. So
I thought Dan Hardy couldn't fight anymore.
Apparently his wolf heart's getting under control or something. But
that's like actually a medical condition. It's not like a metaphor.
I guess if people just can't get Diego Sanchez.
Are we bringing up random topics now? Because
I
just wanted to bring. I thought that was pretty huge.
Did you guys hear about Mayhem Miller?
Oh yeah,
tweeting while the cops were outside of the SWAT team was outside. Of
Do you guys think he'll ever fight again?
Oh no, I don't think he was planning to fight before that, wasn't he?
Well, no, I'm just putting the question out there. Will you think any other promotion will ever pick up Mayhem Miller?
I don't think he's as much as a mess as people try to portray him out to be. I think he's just like an outgoing weird guy, and like that's how he just I don't think he's as a big of a mess as people think he is.
Yeah, I think it's just his situations.
Yeah,
he's always put in a weird situation. Yeah. He's a weird guy.
Yeah,
so the outcome is weird.
Mix-up. So I think he'll just do his time, and that'll be. I even thought of him as a fighter, anyways. But that's it for this first segment. Stick around. We have an awesome interview, hopefully coming up with Elias Theodorou. So stick around, guys.
Please visit 5roundmma.com on our social media on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. 5roundmma.com.
All right, welcome back. Joining us on the 5-Round MMA Hotline, brought to you by the RMA Foundation. Please visit redemptionmartialarts.com to see how you can join the movement to stop bullying. With us now is Tough Nation's winner, UFC middleweight, and probably owner of the best hair in all of mixed martial arts, Elias Theodorou. Elias, how's it going, man?
I'm fantastic, and thank you, gentlemen, for having me.
Thank you for taking the time. And you're fresh off a huge win, UFC Fight Night, in your hometown, in your home state of Canada, against Bruno Santos. How's it like going over that fight? Just are you kind of like decharging now, relaxing now, or are you back in the gym already?
A little bit of column A, column B. I'm taking this week to kind of decompress, and with that being said, I'm still kind of just doing some cardio and this and that. Don't want to get too fat. After my last win, before this one, a tough win, nation win, I actually got up to 235 pounds.
Wow.
So I don't want to do that. So I'm at happy 215 right now. I'm a big middleweight, and it's actually Canadian Thanksgiving, so I'm eating for two, let's just say. But come tomorrow, I'm going to be back in the gym and back in the office. Even with a win, which I'm happy with, I can get into more later on about being unfortunate that I didn't finish it. But with that being said, Bruno Santos was a tough dude, and just moving on in regards to the momentum of winning.
And then really quick, what are some of the positives you took away from that Bruno Santos fight?
Yeah, no, it's just in the idea that I was able to go to, in many ways, in a fight, like I have plan A, B, and C. And for whatever reason, I guess I wasn't, because basically, to put it in my perspective, Bruno wasn't engaging in the way that I was expecting him to. He was backing up more than he usually does. That's why I threw a lot of kicks to gauge the distance, but he kept on going backwards, instead of his usual push forward. And what we were planning to do was counter him and then get out of the way. But instead, he was backing away, so that's why I basically switched to plan B, which was put him against the cage and tire him out. And that's what I did, and that's why I was so strong in the third, because I knew I got him weak.
Yeah, your past fight was in Canada. Your last fight at the UFC was in Canada as well. What's it like fighting the home crowd now that you're in the UFC? Is a little more demand for tickets from you?
Yeah, well, basically the cool thing is I've actually fought in Halifax before. I fought in the regionals there for ECC, and I'm actually the middleweight champ there. And basically it was home away from home. And it was so cool because actually there's like 35,000 people in Halifax.
Wow. And
11,000 of them were in a packed, Metro Center that Saturday night. So it was an amazing thing. Like, yeah. So like, and even afterwards, like pretty much everyone I bumped into was either at the fights or watched the fights at home. So I was in a town of people that knew that I kicked ass.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And then we were watching the fight on TV. Can you tell us about in between rounds what you got slapped from your trainer on the side? Can you just give us a little background on what was taking place?
Yeah, no, basically what ended up happening was my coach, Sergio Cunyan, those who don't know him, is a legendary coach. He's taught, I think, somewhere to 5 to 7 world champions, and the list goes from Anderson Silva to Shogun Rua to even BJ Penn. Like, there's even more in between. With that being said, we actually were a little bit disappointed because we looked back and we thought I even lost the first round, but now seeing the fight or whatever, we all agree that I did a lot better than I thought. It's just, to be completely honest, I was hoping, and we were hoping, to just bulldoze right through Bruno, but he's a tough dude and a tough SOB that came there to fight. So they really wanted me to, they were trying to stress me to push and finish him in the third. I didn't end up finishing him, but I darn well broke him. So there's positives in that, and now at this point, honestly, I'm not afraid to fight. I'm quite in the now, and I live in the moment, and I'm really able to just think on my feet. So there are plenty of positives going after this fight.
And then MMA has kind of taken a weird turn. You don't have to just be a good fighter now. You kind of have to be an entertainer as well. And I kind of see you already embracing that. Do you think you had that in mindset that, the most successful fighters are the entertainers?
Oh, yeah, no, totally. It's not like, for better or worse, it's not only how good you are, it's how many people want to come see you.
Yeah.
And in regards to me, it doesn't matter whether they love me or hate me, as long as they're putting eyes on me, and then I'm doing my job right. And it's up to me also, depending, because I got a lot of, eyes on me because of the fact that it helps that I look like every beige character from Disney. But with that being said, I still got to win. I still got to win, right? So you just see the amount of what's called 14 to 18-year-old girls that message me from Brazil telling me to marry them is basically a half dozen a day. But with that being said, no matter what any attention is on me for anything other than the cage or the personality I am, the whatnot, that's only half the battle. I got to win, and that's what I do.
Yeah, like, do you use that to your advantage? Like other fighters or maybe other fans may say, "Oh, this guy's, he's a model wannabe, pretty boy." But you think they take you for granted that underestimate you, your opponents do, or you think they don't even talk about that at all?
I think they did. They did at first. I could tell you, like, my first 2 fights, they pretty much, my brother went with me. Actually, funny story, just to sidetrack. Like I was originally with a coach that had a full-time job and wasn't able to come out to the fight. So my little brother, who knows even less than me, and I say little brother with air quotes because my little brother is my not so little brother. He's 235 pounds.
Oh, whoa.
He's a pure granite muscle. He honestly looks like he looks like Arnold. That's what my nickname for him, or the Silverback. But you should see, actually, no, even sidetracking from that, like when we used to go in fights, me and him look exactly the same. We're 2 years apart, but we look exactly the same. So when he would walk in first, everyone would just crap themselves because they're like, "Oh my God, that's the one fighting." and then they realize it's me, and then they're still like, "Well, because I'm not no slouch myself. I'm 215 pounds, right?" So they're like, "Phew, okay. Well, the hell with the pretty boys. We're gonna kill them."
Yeah.
And then we end up breaking their faces in and taking their girlfriends home. So it all works out.
And then I don't know
that may have happened. I'm not going to drop names, but that may have happened.
Full
Everyone
disclosure
wants
here.
to go home with a winner. That's all I'm going to say.
Full disclosure here, Elias. We got your back.
And then I don't know if you know this, but you're kind of part of an exclusive club of Ultimate Fighters that have won it undefeated. And I mean, like, the name is pretty huge. I mean, you got Deo Sanchez, Michael Bisping, Ryan Bader, Rashad Evans. I mean, it's very exclusive, and most of these fighters have had a huge success. But if you really look at the way they got to the top, they had a couple of mid card level fights, maybe three or four before they actually fought someone with like a name to say. Do you think that's kind of your guys' mindset as far as your camp going in, or maybe UFC's mindset for you, or it's not even a thing?
Yeah, no. I think first of all, it's an honor to be amongst those names, and I'm still pinching myself, to be completely honest. They're great, and they're legends, and many of them are still legends that are still fighting the good fight. And with that being said, or whatever, honestly, like, we're taking it one step at a time. I had a great fight this time and a great fight last time, and to be completely honest, pretty great fights all around, I think. I'm still learning. I've only been doing this for 5 years, and professional for 3 now. So I'm still learning with it, and still going with the punches. And I'm going to be back in the gym tomorrow and ready to get my next test. And there are a lot of great names, I think, that are in front of me. Depending on who you look, I'm like somewhere in the 30th range or whatever at that ranking. And I'm looking to just constantly build up on that. There's 2 middleweights that fought in Sweden the same day. And those are 2 potential opponents that I would be honored to fight. I think I want a couple of weeks just to kind of decompress and slowly build back into it. But I'm looking to fight and punch and kick people and remain undefeated in my next time. And I'm looking forward to doing it ASAP.
Yeah, no, Elias, you are in the middleweight division, and there's kind of a changing their guard almost to say in that division. A lot of the older guys like Machida, Belfort, Jacare are in the mid-30s and kind of like, this is their last shot at a title runs. But yourself, even the champion Chris Armor are young guys. Can you see that guard changing of like the newer generation of fighters in the middleweight division, a division that was so long under the reign of Anderson Silva is now kind of almost like wide open now?
Yeah, and that's what pretty much changed it. It's just the change in the guard with him. The Kingpin is essentially, I don't want to say no more. It's just his time may have passed in regards to being champion. And even he has talked about it in different interviews that it's not really about chasing titles. He just wants to, continue his legacy. Because in reality, he went from God to human in 2 fights. And that happened with Chris Weidman. So, I'm really fortunate to be the immature 26-year-old I am, and I get to kind of just grow with it, and I'm really excited to make my name and slowly do that in the UFC.
And then I want to know, you challenged Kenny Florian for the best hair challenge. Did you get a response from Kenny Florian, and when is this going to take place, the best hair challenge?
The hair off.
We've enjoyed goofing each other for the last little bit. It was just in regards to because what I really wanted is Ed Herman. He'd be a great opponent. He's it would have been a national kick to Ginger Days. That would have been a fun thing. But with that being said, he's got a tough and great opponent. And honestly, all joking aside, I wish Ed Herman nothing but the best. He's a pioneer for the sport, and he's a great fighter. And hopefully, after either he wins or whatever, I get the honor to eventually fight him. But with that being said, me and Kenny will one day have a walk-off very soon.
Well, as we definitely look forward to the walk-off between you and Kenny Florian. We also look forward to you the next time you're in the octagon. We want to thank you again for taking time to speak with us. I know you're recompressing after the fight, but again, thank you very much. We're big fans of you here, and just thank you for taking time to speak with us, man. We appreciate it.
The pleasure's all mine, and looking forward to chat again.
Yep, we'll have you on definitely soon. Thanks, Elias.
Cheers.
Please visit 5roundmma.com on our social media on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. 5roundmma.com.
We are back. I want to continue about the headlines of mixed martial arts. A little bit of trash talking, a little bit of fight happenings. But I want to talk about it because it always sticks out to me whenever I see a Rory MacDonald headline. I always think of you two guys. Well, mostly just Albert.
Yeah.
I'm always on the Rory MacDonald
If you
Twitter
see Conor McGregor headline, then you...
Yeah. This one was a little striking because it was one of your favorites too, Albert. Ben Askren took to Twitter, decided randomly, for those who are curious about how I would beat at Rory MacDonald, let me say, any darn way I want to. Well, there was a curse word in the instead of darn.
I always feel split. Every time they talk about like Hector Lombard facing Rory MacDonald, or every now and then I get these matchups I don't want to see, but they have to happen. And I like it though. Rory MacDonald's a very silent guy, but that's one guy you don't talk smack to because
this is a mistake for Ben Askren.
He takes it seriously.
Okay.
But I mean, as long as Ben Askren stays relevant, I mean, I think eventually UFC can't ignore him.
Is this not his way of staying relevant, Guillermo? Is this not his way of staying relevant? He's winning.
For Ben Askren, of course. But as long as you don't respect the boss will, which is Dana White.
No,
Dana White will never.
TRT's made a whole living not respecting the boss. So
and he brought him back multiple times.
Again, I know you guys don't like when I bring up WWE, but it goes hand in hand.
Okay.
Let's think of the best storyline WWE has had so far: Stone Cold versus Vince McMahon. How awesome would this be? Ben Askren goes in there
Dana White
versus Dana. No, but I'm saying like Dana White's like, you know what?
Or like maybe
Ben Askren, you want to come in here and be tough?
No, that could be great. Like Dana White puts like his corporation together. Ben Askren, you gotta beat all these guys in a row.
I have Tyron Woodley over here.
Who's this boy too? Conor McGregor. Matt Brown. You got Matt Brown too.
See,
all the Dana White boys.
It'll be beautiful. Because right now, I'm very intrigued over the women's division. Because when what's her name called out the 4 horsewoman, I mean, I was hooked. I've never seen so many Ronda Rousey interviews in my life after I saw that.
So storylines upon storylines. Also another one, potential match being made up. This was more of a reality than anything. Is Jacare, who's really close to a title shot for some reason, called out to Dan Henderson.
Yeah, and he had successful surgery, so he still has some time to recover.
Who's Jacare?
Jacare, yeah. But yeah, Dan Henderson, except he said, "Hey, I'll go down to middleweight and we can make it happen." Which I have nothing against. I'm always the first one to be like, "Oh, these are wolf tickets," or I don't like to see these type of matchups, but it kind of makes sense to me.
So it's kind of like, I mean,
well, the thing about
is this more like a warm up match for Jacare? Is that what he wants?
Well, I think it's a put over match for Jacare because I don't think Jacare is fully put over with the fans.
The fans?
I
don't agree. I love Jacare.
Yeah, you love Jacare, but I get the feeling that the general public doesn't really. If they say they were announced Jacare versus Chris Weidman next, I don't think people will really feel the hype. And I think he needs someone like Dan Henderson to really put him over.
But Dan Henderson, what, 0-5 is last?
Yeah, but
I'm just
as far as he's a name, I mean, if you talk to the general people, they love Dan Henderson. Dan Henderson's a man of the people.
The other thing is Chris Weidman versus Vitor Belfort got pushed back. We don't even know what day the new date.
I think they did put the date.
I don't remember.
But I don't think the date matters now.
No, but even with that date, let's say someone's injured, Chris Weidman's injury prone. Let's say the fight doesn't even take place till a little bit longer than that. Jacare can't be inactive for 9 months before he gets a shot at Chris Weidman. So and I agree with Dan Henderson. It's a big name, and it welcomes everybody to the American fan base welcomes Jacare.
Jacare. We'll see how it goes. And also another one, a little trash talking here on Twitter. Did you love social media?
Yeah.
Jon Jones.
I think that's the only thing it was meant for, just a trash talk.
Well, Jon Jones, for some reason, poked fun at Phil Davis. You hear about this?
No, I didn't. My boy, Phil Davis.
I guess Damian Martin said that Phil Davis believes that Darren Cormier is going to put a hurting on Jon Jones. Agree, disagree. And to which Jon Jones replied, Phil Johnson believes what? Has even reached gatekeeper status yet. So basically, he's saying, I don't even know the guy is.
I think he's watching our show because we only talk about gatekeepers. I watch every
Apparently, all our conversations about is this guy a gatekeeper yet? So you were the number one Phil Davis backer upper.
Matter of fact, I think you changed your name to Guillermo Mr. Wonderful Cita.
Yeah, did you? Was it your Twitter handle for a while?
Yeah.
No, man, it's Conor McGregor. Remember?
Is this what Jon Jones lined up his next fight, maybe, or is she not even worried about this, or what? Because a couple of weeks, Phil Davis is going over his Glover Teixeira. So
I think a win over Glover Teixeira puts him back into contention against Jon Bone Jones. But before that, I was on the Phil Davis. I thought he had earned his way to get a fight with Jon Jones. He overlooked Anthony Rumble Johnson. Anthony Rumble Johnson is no longer in contention.
And people forget that Phil does have a rare win over Alexander Gustafsson.
Oh yeah,
who's considered the number one contender.
Is it a rare win still over Machida? Is that a
rare
thing?
Is it a rare thing? Win over Machida? It's rare. If you have a W next to Machida, you're in a unique class unless your name's Rampage.
But right now in the light heavyweight, the talk is Alexander Gustafsson, right?
Yeah.
He has a win over the guy that supposedly beat Jon Bone Jones, according to Albert. So I think he's still in contention. It's just he had a little fluke. and now Jon Jones is still picking at it.
Yeah. So
And-
is it kind of is it Jon Jones? You think kind of seeing like Phil Davis as the next guy in line? That's kind of starting his fight, kind of start his Twitter war now. Maybe
I think he's trying to avoid Alexander Gustafsson.
Yeah,
altogether.
it could be.
Well,
See,
okay.
he's always trying to do one step ahead. For some
He's
reason,
a smart guy.
for some reason, he never wants to face the same guy twice.
Yes.
And nor, and if
And
your
he
name
hasn't fought Phil Davis.
and if
Yeah.
your name is Alexander, he doesn't even want the same sentence to be put together with him.
So maybe it's that route that maybe he is trying to get Phil Davis next instead of avoid Alexander Gustafsson.
True. Well, we shall see who is next in line. I think that's it for today, right?
Yes. Next week we have the big card.
We're
Money
gonna
Mendes.
preview UFC 170 something.
We're probably gonna make it rain up in here.
Aldo versus Mendes too.
All the Chad Money
who's
Mendes
the-
that we're gonna talk
Who's the
about
next
next
victim
week.
for Conor McGregor?
Is that what it is? Oh,
Yeah.
no way. According to Chad Mendes, Conor McGregor will be there in his third row seat with his Lucky Charms. So that should be fun to preview that. Until then, make sure to follow us on Twitter and Instagram at 5Round MMA. That's FIVE. Like us on Facebook. Subscribe to us on iTunes, YouTube, and Podomatic. Just search 5Round MMA in the search engine. And always please check out 5roundmma.com. We have some new renovations to the website, right, Albert?
Yes,
Coming
we do.
up very soon.
It looks very appealing, if you ask me.
Yep. As for today, I think we need help from Steven Razzo from Razzo Records to pick today's Rockin' Green Super Clean Star of the show.
And you can't say I don't care.
I know.
I don't win. I write.
Guillermo.
They're
Guillermo.
It's like that.
The Super Clean Rockin' Green Star of the show is brought to you by Rockin' Green Soap. Please visit their website, rockinggreensoap.com, for the full line of eco-friendly soaps and detergents, and follow them on Twitter at rockinggreensoap.com. And a big thank you to 5 Rounds Clothing Line, makers of high-quality MMA clothing and accessories. Please visit 5rounds.clothing to shop their great stuff, and follow them on Twitter at 5roundswear. And a big, huge thank you to Redemption Martial Arts. The RMA Foundation is a non-profit organization committed to the anti-bullying awareness. Please visit their website at redemptionmartialarts.com to see how you can join the movement to stop bullying, and follow them on Twitter at redemption_MA. Everyone rise up against bullying. Albert, what do you got?
First of all, starting the new year, we're gonna keep track of this because I don't like it. Put the Marshall thing. I can thank our executive producer Guillermo Cita, our sound engineer Steven Razzo Records. That's sorry.
So
And-
what are we doing at the end of the year?
We're gonna keep checking.
Or
the
I'm gonna
winners.
keep track of the winners because I'm getting tired. Just so I can think of some more like theories and you know
To try and win.
try and win. But thanks
Razzo
everybody for
Records, yep.
listening. Did you check out Prince Devitt?
No.
Okay, so next week Alex will
I'll
give
be
us a
sure to,
review
review my
on
Prince
on
Devitt
the next
of NXT.
big WWE superstar.
Cream of the crop.